Hello, my name is Yemi and I would love to invite you to join me on the JAPA Code. The JAPA Code is your ultimate guide to legally migrating from Nigeria to your dream destination. If you desire to JAPA, we've got you covered. We'll bring you expert advice and insider tips to help you navigate the rules, routes and resources required to make that dream a reality. Join me this Sunday at 5 p.m. on the Women Network on YouTube. The JAPA Code is brought to you by Women Consults in partnership with the Migrant Resource Center, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment.
Hi, Yemi. You're muted.
Oh my goodness. Hey, all the English I've been speaking since.
hear
Oh
anything.
Lord. Hey, oh my goodness. I need to drum roll. Oh my goodness. I've been speaking since I've been talking. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't even know. You see, these technical things, there's a way you should know when you are muted, when you are not muted. All right, so welcome to the show today. Thank you so much for coming to join us again. I was talking about, your caliber, your charisma, I can say I've been saying a lot of things like that, but I wasn't saying that really.
I wish I had them. I can tell you which one I should take and which one I shouldn't.
I was telling our viewers about the fact that you're back again on the show, and I'm almost calling you a financial consultant, when it comes to this, even though it's Canada-based, but hey,
this is an opportunity for us to contribute whatever we can.
Are just basically fundamental. Joining us, this again, another episode here. So, and we're happy that you're able to join us today. We're going to go straight into it. This program is brought to you by Women Consults in partnership with the Migrant Resource Center, Lagos, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment. We're happy to be here, and today I'm sure we are excited to have you on the show today. Thank you so much. All right, jump straight in.
Yes, thank you, Yemi.
Credit score. Tell us what's this? What's this about? What's this about?
Yes, so
yes, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Again, it's a pleasure to be here to see where we can add value and contribute our own little quota to help our fellow Nigerians, especially those that are looking to emigrate and move to the West. Again, like I said last time, this is more me giving back from my personal capacity and not necessarily from professional capacity, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. So again, so I like to call credit score your trust coefficient. Your trust coefficient, and why I say that is, I remember, and I like to refer to I'm a Christian, so I like to go back to some things that I remember one of the days my pastor was preaching about what he called the velocity of money, and that how economies grow is when people trust themselves. So if I wanted to give you, Yemi, a business, I didn't have, if I trust you, I would say, Yemi, go and do this business for me. and when you finish, I'll give you your payment XYZ. And then you can go to meet somebody who is a supplier who would give you the goods on credit because they trust you, right? And so that's how economies grow. But when there's a trust deficit, you find that it's difficult for economies to grow because the velocity of money is slower. So I'll go back to the point of credit scoring. In Nigeria, we also have the system. And I remember before I left Nigeria, because I was in the banking industry, I remember before I left Nigeria, it was becoming more and more pronounced, right? But the difference here, which is what I'm going to highlight, is that here in Canada, everything rises and falls on your credit. Everything. If you're going to rent a house, the landlord can give you a house if he pulls your credit and sees that your credit score is good. If you're going to get a mortgage, they pull your credit. If it's good, you can get a mortgage. You want even things as much as credit cards for groceries. You can, if you have good credit scores, you can easily get by. You can get lines of credit that can allow you to do business or allow you to do other things that will generate more money if you have good credit score. So like I said again, everything rises and falls on your credit. And the problem we have, like for new immigrants, is that a lot of immigrants, because we're not used to the credit system, we come in and we make certain mistakes that will ultimately affect us in 1-2 years down the line. And I was also, and this has nothing to do whether you are an accountant or you're a banker in
1-2 years
Nigeria.
down the line, the credits never forgets. Credits never forgets.
Yes, it's always there. It's always there, and everyone has access to it, right? They can just pull it and then see, oh, this guy is not credit worthy. This guy is not trustworthy. That's what it really is, and then a lot of things can get affected, right? So back to what I was saying. Everything rises and falls on your credit. When you come into the country, you need to take steps to make sure that your credit remains good. And I'll just explain a bit about the credit bands we have here in Canada. So we have it's a band that falls between about 300 to 900. That's how they score it. So between 300 and 600 is poor. 300 and 500 is poor. 500 to about 700 is fair. 700 to 800 is about good. And then 800 above is excellent. So you want to see yourself somewhere in between that 670, 700 band, so that you have decent credit. And now, why is it that it's important to build your credit score? The reason is because you're coming into a new financial environment. No one knows anything about you. They don't know you, right? So if you come into a country, let's say you come in as an immigrant, you brought in maybe $100,000, right? Just for discussion, and you keep that in the bank. It doesn't help you because you're just gonna they don't care that you have that money. No one is gonna say because you have so much money. They want to understand your history with credit. So that is why it's important to take steps to build your credit. So I'd say that the first thing you need to do, which a lot of Nigerians run away from, because they've told you, your pastor has told you that don't borrow, don't collect debt. Debt is bad. There is good debt and bad debt. You're muted.
I was going to get to that place. I hope you are not going to mention borrow.
No. That's why they say if you borrow, it's a sin. That we've heard a lot of that. But there is good debt and there is bad debt. So that's what we need to understand,
Yes.
right? Because they
But
want to know.
Sorry, I'm sorry to cut your thoughts. Before you go further, I wanted to be sure that are you saying that the only way your credits can rise is from the aspect of borrowing, not
100%.
by saving, not by storing?
100%. You hit it right.
Wow.
Hang on the nail. It is not by keeping money that your credit score improves. Nobody cares about the money you have. They want to test your history with borrowing, and paying back. That's basically what they want to do. And then they can take decisions based on that history to help you grow financially, right? So like you really hit it on the nail on the head. It's not by keeping money, it's by borrowing. But like I said again, there is good borrowing and there's bad borrowing. Yeah. So to the point I was making, right? Because it's a credit-driven system in the West, the first thing you need to do as an immigrant is to look for a way to get a credit card. Get a credit card. In fact, there are some payments you can't even make without a credit card, right? So that's the way you start. So if you come in, even with any, as an immigrant, they will give you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 credit, but you have to be disciplined with whatever you're using your credit for. So, and that is exactly what they want to test, so that you can build your credit history. So when you get your credit card, I mean, just a few tricks and tips for you. When you get a credit card, they'll tell you about there's a cycle. This cycles out every month. At the end of that cycle, if you are financially prudent, you ensure that you pay out the credit card fully. When you pay it out, it helps your credit. If you do not pay, there's also what they call the minimum payment, which is like the minimum amount you need to pay. That minimum payment usually covers interest, right? It's not wise for you to make minimum payments on your credit card. The best thing to do, if you have money, let's say you have $100,000, get a credit card, run all your monthly bills on your credit card up to a certain level, which I'll explain later. And then when it's due for payment, you have to know the date of your payment on or before that date. You take maybe $3,000 of your $100,000 and clear up your credit. That helps to build that traction on your credit, and it helps to show that you are credit worthy. So a lot of bills we pay here in the West is from your credit card. So make sure you get a credit card and make sure you're prudent.
Okay, so your payments, the clearing of your credit, as it were, is what you spend, not what is loaded in the card. Certainly.
No. So it's not. So what they do is they give you a limit, a spending limit. Let's say your credit card, they give you $5,000. You will start to spend every day. You want to buy fuel. You want to buy.
You use the credit card. Okay.
Use the credit card and swipe, right? And then at the end of the cycle, two things can happen. You might either have money to pay up what you spent, which is good, which is great, right?
Which is coming from your regular accounts.
Then you use your regular checking account to pay off whatever you have spent, right?
Okay.
At the end of that period or the cycle. You must know the day of your payment, yeah? Or you can't pay everything, in which case you pay the minimum payment, right? If you don't pay the minimum, they're going to drag you. So make the minimum payment, and then they will charge you interest on whatever you have not cleared out. That's not a smart decision for you as an immigrant.
Okay, so the minimum payment is what they benched you on. That's what they're asking you to. You can't go below. You can't go below that. That's how much you must pay minimum.
You must pay. If you don't pay that one, they're coming to drag you. They will call you. You receive a call from a banker. So the minimum payment could be as low as $100, $50. Yeah. So that's the least they expect you to pay. But it's not a smart decision for you to, because for two things, right? Credit card debts are the most expensive. Yeah, it's one of the most expensive debts you can get. And secondly, it doesn't help your credit history. So it's best to use your cash and pay up the credit card, in which case you are now building a history of credit repayment, which helps your credit score. Yeah. So and I'll go into details of what you can use credit for. I mean, I kind of explained a few of those things, right? But it's a very important part of our lives in Canada, and I'm sure also in the UK. Your credit score, building your credit, making sure you're hitting your credit payments on your credit cards, and building that history, right? The other things that affect your credit score, it's not just whatever you pay through the bank, right? You're through the card. So let's say, for example, you have utilities. If you don't pay the utilities, it goes on your credit. If you don't pay your bills, your electricity bills, your water bills, the water company will not chase you. They will just hit your credit. And the difference, again, between here and Nigeria is that you can borrow money from an app and they'll be looking for you. Here, everything rises and falls on your credit. If you don't pay, nobody's going to come and chase you immediately. But you will find your credit score nosediving, and you will find that a lot of things in your life become hampered. Yeah, automatically, because even your landlord can pull your credit. You know, you want to rent a house, they pull your credit. You know, you want to get a car. Your credit.
But how does,
is
because again, okay, because here, you know, like we said again, it's not a culture that is prevalent in Nigeria. Gradually, we're getting there, but to just understand how does the other people, how do they, you know, how do they get access to be able to report to you, to your credit system, for you to, for instance, you're meant to pay the landlord for your house, you did not pay. So what does he do? Does he send letter to the credit bureau and tell them this guy is owing me and something? What? How does that pan out? Or does the credit system pay those people and you are owing the credit system? Just to understand.
Yeah. So you are not owing the credit system, you are owing them, and they are reporting to the credit system that binds all of us that Mr. X is owing me. Be careful when you deal with him. So the way they do it is most organizations, you'll find to have to put some information, whether your social security number, as they call it in the US, here they call it your social insurance number.
Okay, so based on how edit your rating.
Number. Sorry? Could you repeat that question?
No, I'm saying that. So based on that, they now edit your ratings. They now begin to.
Yes. They now put
Did you hear what I said now?
On your account with the rating agencies, right? To say X person has defaulted, and it's instantaneous. It's something that happens quickly. So by the time they do the next run of your credit, you find your credit dropping significantly. Yeah. So that's how it works. So you ensure that your bills are paid when they should be paid, your phone bills, your utility bills, your hydro bills, and even your credit card is always on point. Yeah.
That's exciting. That's great to know. So what are you supposed to run your life on by credit? What other things can you do with credit? Can you build everything you're doing on your credit? But how much percentage in terms of what will I call it now? Is it commission they take, or is it how much profit they make, or I don't know what's the nomenclature now that they use on the credit that would, if you put everything you're doing on your credit, knowing of course
when it comes to
my total budget,
when it comes to your credit cards, you can get away with not paying much on your credit cards. And the way to do that is, the only thing is that in some banks, you might find out that they won't even charge you any card fees, right? But in some banks, they charge you an annual fee, which is not so much. But if you ensure that you pay your credit, the amount you've drawn as and when due, the amount that is due and when due, you don't get charged any amount on your credit card. Aside the renewal fee, maybe annual fee, like a card fee, like GT gives you a card and they charge you an annual fee. Sorry, I hope I didn't do some adverts for some bank. I just use that as an example. So I was saying
annual fee and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you use your card? I don't know where the challenge is. It's breaking a bit, our connection. I don't know where it can be from your end. So I'm sure it's from the waves. It's not from Nigeria.
My battery is running down. My battery is running down on my laptop.
Oh my God. Okay, let's all right.
I didn't realize that.
No
is
problem.
Something
let's just do. Can you take another 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think you can do another 5 10 minutes.
Just go on.
So just to talk about the advantages of building your credit, having a great credit score. Like in Canada, one of the easiest ways you can hardly make financial success. I'm not saying, don't quote me, don't get me wrong. You can get decent jobs, great jobs, but most people grow their wealth through properties. Acquisition of property, buying assets.
Properties, okay. I like that.
So the easiest way you can enter the property market is by having a very strong credit. That qualifies you to be able to take up a mortgage, right? And it also helps you in terms of, in some banks, if you have a very strong credit rating, you can also get very competitive interest rates. So that's the way it works. If you're going to buy a property here, you need to have a very good credit score. You need to have a very good credit score. And that helps you to get mortgage, and then you can also get decent rates. And that's how you gradually build your wealth. Because when the property prices appreciate in the boom period, you've built up equity in the property, you can cash it out and then use it to also maybe acquire a second property or do some business from the cash, and then that's how you gradually build wealth. You see people buy from one property, they get 2, 3, 4, they start their businesses by acquiring property. So that's one thing you need to have that long line of sight towards. You don't just come in and you think it's by working hard that you're going to make it. You also need to do the things, build the stones, the milestones that will take you to where you should.
Oh my goodness. Oh my.
So it's something that you need to really work on. Ensure that your credit score, you don't joke with it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The network is just cracking in between. I don't know, but I think I get it. But you know what I'm going to do? We're going to have to, again, we will certainly have to bring you back again. We see one more, and we've added another one. Maybe you will take that, or maybe you have a colleague that can help us with that. This is your property acquisition, great credit score, all of that. I think it's brilliant. The idea really, because a lot of people who are relocating from Nigeria, many of them had jobs they're doing here. They're mainstream guys. They've been busy. They've been working. They have built their lives. They just want a new and fresh challenge. That's why they're relocating. So they're not spring chickens. They've covered some ground, and it would be great for us to be able to see how we can help them to quickly bring back their life, get their worth outside the country the way they were living here.
Correct.
And you know where you're going.
That's the idea.
As a undergraduate or a master's student, there's a bit of time you have. But most of these guys don't have all that time. So they won't be able to get in and jump straight and boost the thing. Exactly. So I think to be able to teach them and talk about the things that they can do in terms of whether real estate, like you mentioned, property, or something else that they can do that can really get them, bridge that gap real quick. It'll be something that will be very, very welcome. So I think we're going to go back to that. Maybe the next time we have you on the show again. After we've spoken, we're going to come back again. After we've spoken about taxes, oh my God, that tax base needs to be understood so that somebody will not go there and go and be paying tax all his life and end up not having anything left in the account.
Definitely.
So grateful for your time today. You said your battery was run, so let me just let you go before the show comes to a close by itself. Thank you so much. Great time we've had. Certainly we'll bring you back again to do another final bit on this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Awesome, guys. Great time we've had with Tunde Obasa today, financial expert based in Canada. So many things he has said today. I'm sure you've also learned a lot. I have learned so much. A lot. We're going to go for a quick break and hear from our partners, and then I will come and round up the show. Thank you.
The National Electronic Labour Exchange is a unit in the International Labour Migration in the Employment and Wages Department of the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment. The centers are information hubs for the public to meet demands of employment, referral, labor rights, recruitment advice, support, and all employment-related issues, with the aim of educating and enlightening the public on workplace and employment issues, as well as ensuring protection and decent work. Our target audience are students, all categories of migrants, and the general public. For more details, email us on jobcenterlagos@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, a National Electronic Labour Exchange, YouTube, a National Electronic Labour Exchange.
Hello, my name is Yemi, and I would love to invite you to join me on the JAPA Code. The JAPA Code is your ultimate guide to legally migrating from Nigeria to your dream destination. If you desire to JAPA, we've got you covered. We'll bring you expert advice and insider tips to help you navigate the rules, routes, and resources required to make that dream a reality. Join me this Sunday at 5 p.m. on the Women Network on YouTube. The JAPA Code is brought to you by Women Consults in partnership with the Migrant Resource Center, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment.
So great to be back with you again on the show. It's been an exciting episode with Tunde Obasa, financial expert from Canada. I think I'm going to start calling him a financial in-house expert. All right. So it was a great time to have him join us, speaking on those credible, such great topics about credit scores, ensuring that you have great credit score to be able to get the best of your life in the diaspora. He's speaking on Canada, but I'm sure it's similar with the UK as well. Credit score is it, because you have a lot of benefits you will have from there. I think we might have a further discussion on the same topic sometime soon. Before I bring to a close, don't forget, we're still very much still organizing our training for carers. But if you're interested in becoming a carer, in the UK or the US or Canada, you want to register with us for our training to become carers. Our training is in 2 parts. These are the 2 parts that get you qualified. The online training gets you a certificate, the CPD certified certificate, and of course, the work experience gives you the reference letter with us. We're carers, and so we are involved in your care process. We're not just sending you go here. No. We're going to be there with you. Our training is person-centered and also employer-focused, because we're carers. So if you want to get in touch with us, you're interested in our training, please do feel free. Google Consult, send us a WhatsApp message on the number on the screen. All right, and of course you can chat with us on Facebook or on Instagram as well. We'll be there to receive your information. All right, thank you so much. It's been a great time on the show today. I had so much fun, so much knowledge being passed across. I'm sure if you're also new here, I'm sure you would have felt something really, really important that you learned today. Should you have any, you want to get in touch with us, please feel free. Reach us, get in touch with us through the numbers that we displayed earlier. You can reach us on those numbers. It's been a great time. Please subscribe to our channel, click on the notification button, like us, and share, so that you can also extend the information you're hearing to other people who also benefit from it. Remember that we spoke about our program. Some of the content that we have right there on the channel are very relevant to you. We had something for couples. You're a couple and you're planning to relocate. You want to watch those episodes that have been done for couples. Very, very important. And of course, this one that we've had today, and of course the ones also that Tunde Obasa was also with us earlier on to also be a part of. Thank you so much. I had so much fun today. I'm sure you also did have so much fun today. I'll see you again next time on the show. Have a great woman. This is JAPA Code, and my name is Yemi. I will say bye-bye.
Hello, my name is Yemi, and I would love to invite you to join me on the JAPA Code. The JAPA Code is your ultimate guide to legally migrating from Nigeria to your dream destination. If you desire to JAPA, we've got you covered. We'll bring you expert advice and insider tips to help you navigate the rules, routes, and resources required to make that dream a reality. Join me this Sunday at 5 p.m. on the Women Network on YouTube. The JAPA Code is brought to you by Women Consults in partnership with the Migrant Resource Center, Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment.